All right, so who won the first round of the draft? I'm reluctant to do this because we're not going to know which of these guys are good. We're not going to know which of these guys aren't good. Half of them, on average, aren't going to be good. Those teams will have lost the draft. We won't know right away. But knowing what we know now, seeing what we saw last night, give me a team that you think won the night.
I would say that I think the Chargers won the night because they were able to get a left tackle, a clear position of need, and they were able to get one of the best ones on the board in Rashawn Slater. I mean, and they didn't even have to trade up in order to get him. They let the board come to them, as general managers love to say this time of year. And when you do that, and you fill this clear position of need, look, they have done the things that they need to do to protect their young quarterback. You have the left tackle. You have a center in Corey Linsley, who has come in as a free agent, somebody that played in a really good offense for a number of years, played with one of the best quarterbacks in the league with Aaron Rodgers there in Green Bay. I love that the Chargers have been able to do what they have done over the course of this offseason. And I think that they should continue to be an ascending team with the new head coach.
I agree with you. And look, the way it fell, they got the number 2 offensive lineman at spot 13. They weren't going to get Penei Sewell without moving up, so it works out well for them. I'm going to say the Bears, not because I'm convinced Justin Fields is going to be great, but I like the fact that the organization was willing to, as a practical matter, make it known Ryan Pace is going to be here for at least a couple of years. Matt Nagy is going to be here for at least a couple of years. At least I hope that's what the message is, because you can't put these guys on the hot seat now. You can't fire these guys after this year if they go 6-11. You have to give this some time. Let's see what Justin Fields is. And I like the resolve. I like the willingness to get back on the horse 4 years after trading up for Mitchell Trubisky blew up in their faces. They trade up even farther. They give up even more next year's first-round pick to get Justin Fields. So if it works, they're going to forget about the fact that they could have had Patrick Mahomes. That's the goal. Because until Patrick Mahomes retires, you're going to be dogged by that until you find your own franchise quarterback. I respect them for, number one, giving it a try, and number 2, hopefully sending the message Pace and Nagy are sticking around. Bears fans, deal with it and just sit back and enjoy the ride.
The one thing that I would counter that with is that they fired John Fox a year after trading up and getting Mitchell Trubisky. So Matt Nagy, maybe you're on the hot seat, but Ryan Pace, man, you just made about yourself another couple of years, because who knows how many franchise quarterbacks you get to draft before you get it right. I'm going to stick with the NFC North for my second winner. That's going to be the Detroit Lions. And I think that they did a great thing in bringing in Penei Sewell. And I think that he has the potential to be a great tackle. I mean, you see the things that he was able to do at Oregon. He's a nasty guy there on the offensive line. He brings that tenacity. That's something, of course, that Dan Campbell wants with his kneecap biters. And I think it's going to be fun to watch that offensive line work. Look, the only way for Jared Goff to really show his potential is if he's got a clean pocket most of the time. You know, I think we all know that after seeing his most successful years in Los Angeles there with Sean McVay. So when you've got somebody like Taylor Decker at left tackle, you got Frank Ragnow at center, now you bring in Sewell as the right tackle. You've got 3 really good anchor points to be able to make sure you got a clean pocket. And with Anthony Lynn, they should be able to run the ball better too. So at least on first glance, I mean, I guess I'm just biased to offensive linemen, but yeah, I think the Lions also won if we are going to declare winners after one night.
Sticking with offensive linemen, the Vikings being able to trade down from 14 and pass on Elijah Vera Tucker, who was taken at number 14 by the Jets, who traded up. They get Christian Darrisaw at 23. Rick Spielman, the GM of the team, said today they were trying to trade up to get Darrisaw. They didn't have to. He fell to them, and they get 2 extra third-round picks. He thinks that the third and the fourth round are the sweet spots of this draft. They need edge rushers, so they got a guy they may have taken at 14 anyway. They get 2 extra third-round picks for their trouble. And the one little P.S. about the Vikings, if Justin Fields had been there at 14, that would have been a very interesting decision for them to make, and they very well may have taken Justin Fields, which would have not done much to help them win now, but it would have created the same reaction from Kirk Cousins that we got last year from Aaron Rodgers. All right, who lost round 1, Myles? Again, with the caveat, we don't really know, and please feel free to play our words back in a couple of years if we're both alive then, or if we're all alive then because Kyle Shanahan says we all could be dead by Sunday. So give me somebody who lost round one.
You know what? I would say the Raiders, just because they keep doing this thing where they tend to reach for guys. And the last time they reached for an OL, it didn't look like it worked in the first year, but it has over the last couple of years, and that's in 2018 when they drafted Colton Miller. Now they just signed him to a big extension, so that's worked out. But if you look over the last couple of years and what they've done when they've reached for guys, right? Cleveland Ferrell, Damon Arnett, Henry Ruggs. I mean, maybe you want to throw Jonathan Abram in there. I don't know. I think that he probably would have been a first-round pick anyway. Maybe not. But those guys that have been picked in the first round have not necessarily worked out all that well for them. I mean, you go back to that 2019 draft where that sort of starts, and Josh Jacobs is the one guy out of the five where you can say, yes, he definitively should have been a first-round pick, and he has produced like a first-round pick in his first couple of seasons. Look, if they really like who they picked at the right tackle, who's leather maker. I can't believe I don't have this right in front of me, but you know who I'm talking about. They know who we mean, right? But if they really like him, if they really like him, then that's who.
Now I'm blanking, and I would have known it too, but because you blanked, I blanked too, so we're even.
What's happening?
Alex Leatherwood.
Call him a leather maker. Jeez. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't keep reaching for guys and missing guys. If you reach for guys and you're right, then it's fine. But if you reach for guys and you're not right, then it's not fine. Thank you.
That's how you get fired. That's how you get fired. Alex Leatherwood. We'll see what happens there. For me, look, this may sound like something you've heard before, but I don't like what the 49ers did, giving up 3 1s and a 3 to go get Trey Lance, a guy who didn't play but one game last year, and now they're acting like he's not going to play this year because Jimmy G is going to play. I still think that's baloney. But when you throw on top of this indecision that they seem to welcome, and now they're acting like, oh, we knew all along who we wanted, I don't know that I buy that. I like what the Falcons did. Falcons kept their mouths shut. We don't know who they were going to take. We don't know who they were thinking of taking. If Trey Lance and Kyle Pitts had been there at 4, we don't know which guy they would have taken. And whoever they would have taken, we'd have said fine. Because it's not like they were engaging in this public neuroses as to what do we do, and we're considering this guy, we're considering this guy, we're considering them all. I just think it makes them look indecisive. It makes them look wishy-washy. And when you throw on top of it, number one, that they called the Packers about Aaron Rodgers. Number 2, for some reason, John Lynch felt compelled to admit that when all he had to say is, we don't talk about players under contract with other teams. That's the coup de grace. That's the thing that makes them seem like, as of Wednesday night, they were just like, screw it. Let's not make a decision. Let's just send that pick plus whatever else we have to send to Green Bay for Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I still don't think that you move up to number 3 unless you know what you're doing. And I've been saying that since.
Then why'd they call the Packers for Aaron Rodgers?
Because it's Aaron Rodgers. Because it's Aaron Rodgers. Now, you don't have to admit that you did that, and I agree with you. They probably shouldn't have admitted it, but I would still do it, okay? I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers. There's a known quantity that you are getting there with Aaron Rodgers, the reigning MVP of the league, one of the best players to ever throw a football, Mike. I'm making the call. I mean, I'm making the call. Whether or not it's
That's
the right
an excellent point.
I don't know.
And you know what? It underscores the point that I made when the 49ers made the trade 5 weeks ago, because whatever they would have had to give up on top of the 3rd overall pick in the draft, okay, even if you just get Aaron Rodgers for the 3rd overall pick. To get the 3rd overall pick, you had to give up 3 first-round picks and a 3rd-round pick. That is what they traded for Trey Lance. Completely unproven commodity. They traded 3 1s and a 3 to get Trey Lance. And I know there are people, and remember with that whole thing, oh, no, they just gave up 2 first-round. No. To get Trey Lance, what they turned in was pick 12 this year, 2022 first rounder, 2023 first rounder, and a 3rd rounder. That's what they traded for Lance. If they could have traded that for Rodgers, you strip away there's a chance he's not going to be very good. Look back to 2018. Sam Darnold, right now, fail. Josh Rosen, big fail. Josh Allen, success. Lamar Jackson, success. Baker Mayfield, who the hell knows? 5 quarterbacks. 5 last night. They're not all 5 going to become franchise quarterbacks. So I can get behind the idea that if you think there's an opening to get Aaron Rodgers, you give it a try. You just don't say it.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.